like when it gives me options. How you doing? Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Howdy.
y'all, hey. Hey, y'all, hey.
Hopefully y'all doing all right out there, especially y'all down in the bowels of hell called Arizona and Nevada. It's 100. See, I'm not adjusted anymore. To me, it's not summer yet because it's not hot here yet. So when I start seeing people with 102s and 109s, I'm like, oh, sweet Mary and Joseph. So bless y'all heart. Y'all stay hydrated. Stay in the house if you can. If you got to go somewhere, take your umbrella. Believe it or not, they do work. You may look funny going down the street with no rain falling, but forget the image part, safety part first. Here, when it does get hot, the sun sits right on your forehead. So I got an umbrella. And it doesn't protect you from the heat, but it does protect you from the direct sun. And so it does help at least a little bit. So get your umbrella or parasol if you want to be fancy. And just protect yourself from the heat. That might help you out there this summer. It's almost over. You got 2 months. You'll get there.
I'm ready for it to be over. This whole daylight until 9 o'clock at night stuff, not for me. No.
There's going to be daylight till 10 here one of these days. I think next month, something like that.
No, that's just not right. That's not right.
Look, Jin Lin merch on Johnny's channel out of his store.
Get your mug, get your shirt, your sweatshirt, face mask. I need to make they have phone cases, but they're probably so generic, probably iPhone 6 or something like that, so I didn't put those on.
You know what I love about this is the image is on the right side for when you're filming videos as opposed to the other side, right? So I love that I don't have to turn it around to show people what's on the mug.
There was something else. Oh, Lori sent me an update. She is in the hospital, for those who were asking. She is doing better, and she will be out, I think she said, in a couple days. So she is recuperating right now. She had a blood sugar issue. So y'all make sure you mind yourself, take care of yourself out there. So for those who were asking or who wanted to update, she is all right and recovering. It should be back in a couple days. Any announcements, Jin Lin Tarots?
Absolutely. If you would like a reading with me, jinlintarot.com. I have just a few more openings in September and then October after the fall event. I leave this Thursday for the June events that we're doing. And then we have a fall one. We have one in September, the last weekend of September 27th through the 29th, and another event on October 4th through the 6th. They're identical events, so you don't need to sign up for both. But if you would like to learn healing energy work and how to work from the astral body back into the physical, this is a great event for you. This is not an event to sign up for a personal healing session with Jin Lin. Don't do that. Do it because you want to learn how to do healing energy work. And you're going to use it when you get home. You're going to practice on your pets and your friends and utilize it.
And possibly teach it to someone else too.
And possibly teach it and maybe use it in your business, in your practice if you're a healer. I love teaching it. I think everyone's capable of doing it because there's a process behind it. So I've never had someone I couldn't teach. But if you would like a personal healing session with me, just sign up for a reading and we can do reading/healing.
This Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's here. Can you believe?
The seminars on my website. Also, if you go to my website, jinlintarot.com, you can click on readings to schedule a reading, or you can click on seminars to register for the seminars. The June event is sold out, but the September, October one is available and open.
I'm going to try. Wait a minute. Some here. For those who might come in a little later, if those in the chat, pretty please and thank you, if you will try to keep track or try to look and see if someone asks about Lori, like later on during the stream, and they didn't see the beginning, if you could just fill them in that she's okay, she's recovering, and she'll be all right in a couple days. That way they'll know.
She did not go to one of Trump's rallies and drop from the heat.
That's his heart.
Yeah, he couldn't unalive enough people during COVID. Now he's unaliving them through heat stroke.
And mind you, they're lining up for this. Like, this is their idea. He built it and they came. That's all.
What I don't understand is, considering the heat, why are you not holding these in a stadium where there's air conditioning?
Or at least give them a canopy to sit under.
A canopy or something, yeah.
Is it because you can't afford it and nobody will rent you the space because you don't pay your bills? Or is it because so many civil lawsuits with more coming down the pike that you're just like, all the money I can scrounge up from these clowns, I'm going to have to use elsewhere? You know, like I don't understand.
I have, well, we can ask just that too. I have something akin to that on the list. We'll ask that.
Oh, okay. Because that just doesn't make any sense. Like, it's happened twice. Not that he cares, but you would think he would care if it makes him look bad.
Well, he's doing a lot, like he flies his plane in and has the rally right there, you know, by the airport. It's like, is he just lazy? He doesn't want to go drive somewhere else to do the rallies? It's crazy.
Mm-mm.
So, I got nothing, I don't think. I was going to try to go live yesterday. And then yesterday gave me like 40 other things to do. And I did like 10 of them. And so I'm going to try to go live this week for sure. Maybe when Jen gets here, hopefully before that. I was trying to, like, I have questions I wrote down for today. If I don't do them, then I'll have an excuse to go live. But other than that, I don't know. It's been one of those type of weeks or 2 weeks. And I had my chart read the other day, to which she said, when people offer you help, don't say no. I don't know how to do that. Because I'm not supposed to get help from people. I'm supposed to help people. That's my whole philosophy, and it's backwards and goofy. So it's not eradicated just yet. So I'm trying to work on that. Somebody offered me their assistance today, and I didn't say no. But I'm like, okay, thank you.
When you're a giver, it's hard to put yourself in receiving mode. It's like, no, I can take care of it. I can do it all. You know, it's
Ain't
like,
there yet.
sometimes you're supposed to let someone else help you, either A, for you, or B, for them.
Yeah.
So that they can be a giver.
And that's the part that I am trying to fix too, is that other people want to be a blessing too, not just be the one who's always receiving something. So
Yeah, don't hog it, Johnny.
yeah, we'll see.
Are you ready for your bear hug Thursday? I'm going to give you an extra big one so that I'll give you one for me and one for Becca.
Because I won't be there to hug Johnny and get swamp ass with you guys. I'm kind of sad about it, but it's not. You know, I'm kind of glad that I didn't make the plans to go over there with all the stuff we have going on right now. So maybe later this year, perhaps things will settle down a little bit, and
later this year will be even better.
Yeah, because it'll be cooler weather. There's you know what's going on in this house. It's like bad timing right now. But yeah, Jenny, give him a big ass bear hug. Like,
and I'll try not to knock people over in the airport like I did last year.
I mean, if you do, you do. I mean, what they gonna do? What they gonna do about it?
Get out of my way! I got a bear hug to give. But you know I got somebody to hug.
You know, I always carry weapons with me. We'd be all okay.
I was debating wearing my make attorneys get attorneys hat, but I thought, no, maybe I should. I'll get hit in the airport.
You flying to port on Thursday? Well, no, I won't be at the airport.
Then we'll meet you at the hotel later.
Oh, and if I may, for everybody that's emailed me for readings, I've replied. So check your emails. That's all I got.
But with all of us, like when you book something or you email, if you don't see a reply, like automatic booking on my website for the events and for readings, there's an automatic confirmation email that goes out. If you don't see it, check your junk spam folder and make sure it didn't go in there, because there's information in those confirmation emails. Roro's just having an affection attack.
I want to start with his rallies. So I have 2 questions on there. One, why doesn't he hold his rallies? Now Arizona, now Las Vegas. You picked 2 of the hottest places in North America.
In a heat wave. In a heat wave. In the summertime.
Oh, and then like Pennsylvania, when it was snowing and freezing, you made people wait and walk 50 miles to the car and all that. Like, you have horrible.
Isn't Pennsylvania where he abandoned everybody and they had to like throw?
And they all froze with Santa Claus and the dwarves up there. What is wrong with you? But he said in his little speech that I need your vote. I don't care about you, but I need your vote. So why doesn't he hold his rallies there in the desert in better conditions for his rally goers? Does he care? Not what he did.
Yep. He always tells on himself. I don't really care. Do you? He's got the perfect spouse.
Where she got it from, I guess, or he got it from her.
Yeah, he's always been like that. He doesn't care about anybody but himself.
The desert, though. No covering, no nothing, just sun.
In the summer, midday, because he had a dinner to go to with wealthy people that night. So he's doing it midday in the hottest part of the day. Do it in the morning before it gets so hot. Oh, no, that's before he gets up in the morning,
At least give him some cover or something. I wonder if the people even wearing sunscreen, for God's sake.
He doesn't have a lot of options. Right up again. He's, everybody's looking at him with different perspectives, and he's fighting to get spaces and the tower and stuff, and he's got legal problems, like I think from past spaces he's had. But he's determined to get out there and claim his power. He doesn't have any options. People are refusing the loser.
Right.
He doesn't pay his bills. Yeah, he's charity. Like, give me a space. That's on the bottom. Give me a space for free.
I have the anchor, the scythe, the clouds, the bear, and the crossroads. The reason he doesn't do it, even though there's persistently dangerous weather, right there. So good luck, Florida, during hurricane season.
And Alabama too, because he'll draw you in.
Yeah. It's because the finances for the election, or it's financial choices, financial decisions. So
more grift in his own pocket.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. They're horrible with planning. That's the 8 of Cups and the 2 of Wands. It's fly by the seat of your pants time for them. just put a bunch of chairs out in the middle of a parking lot and we'll meet there. That's probably the longest form detail they have right there. It's not that thought out. They don't really care about the people. There's the block and the indecision with the community of 10 of cups. They're just people. Here's my second question, though, or question 1A. I was saying in the class the other day, another class I had, that, and it's a question we have tonight too, can the MAGA be rehabbed? Because there's a person that's saying they need a re-education, they need a re-blah, blah, blah, because they're in a cult and all this. And that question, because questions do matter when you read tarot, is rooted in bias. Because to say, can they be rehabbed, you're first saying that they have something wrong. The first question you should ask is, what is his effect upon their mentality? If his effect is negative, then you say, can they be rehabbed? That's the proper way to do it, but I'm not unbiased here. So I say, can they be rehabbed? So this question will go sort of in that direction, assuming that he cares about nothing but himself. Does he care about anyone, not anything, any person on earth? Does he care about any person on earth? His parishioners in the cult, they can stand out in the cold, he doesn't care. They can stand out in the extreme heat, he doesn't care. He can throw paper towels at people during a hurricane. Like, I don't understand. Do you care about anybody at all?
I saw the devil on the bottom. I got to keep shuffling.
Can I please go? Because it's pretty funny. So I asked, does Donald Trump care about anybody on earth? Can't make this up. The man, the whip, the fox. A man that's a chronic manipulator, a man that's a chronic fraud, an abusive fraud. If you're a target, if he coins you as a target, he's going to show a little interest until he's done with you. Does he care? No. He only cares when he's made, when he has a mark, if that makes any sense.
He's so naive, just so naive, and justice coming on him. He's a bully. So, he goes into action and attacks first. He finds joy in people that burden, like Biden. Does he care about them? No, because he's all trapped in his own mind. He gets very emotional. Sometimes, when people are passing judgment and talking about him, but he just gets away with his own things. Does he care about anybody? No.
Which is weird because I always thought maybe Ivanka.
He lusts for Ivanka.
See, there's the thing. You took the word out of my mouth. He's not caring. He lusts for his own daughter. Like,
what else wrong with this man? I had to go cover my Care Bear's ears over there. Manipulation. The world, aka the audience, in my deck. Collaboration, 3 of Pentacles. In charity or giving me money, 6 of Pentacles. Does he care about a person? No, not unless he can manipulate them into giving him something. 3 of Pentacles, collaboration, 6 of Pentacles, charity. Manipulation the audience.
His only concern is, who's my target and what can I get out of you?
Like, what the heck? Where's the compassion cards? Like, I pulled the cup, and then what did I pull before it, though? The devil card.
he's a freaking sociopath.
I can't.
Like, just doesn't
cares about himself. He's all up in here.
It's not that hard. Just find a person, well, never mind. I'm going to say have a conversation with them, but you can't do that. He talked to Dr. Phil and blamed everybody in the world but except Dr. Phil.
He's a sociopath. He's just incapable. Yeah, I don't know if there's something wrong with the wiring in his brain because the elevator is like stuck in the basement where it's flooded, but he's not.
He throws everybody under the bus when he gets in a court case.
He threw his own wife under the bus, you know.
So the last question on the rallies was, would there be any other health-related incidents of any rally from here until November? No. Yes, and here until November. That's what I wrote down. I meant the summer, but I wrote from here till November, so whichever one you want to do. I'm going to do till November. +100 degrees.
He'll probably be in the desert again in August, in the hottest month.
Mm-hmm. Swinging a pick at some rocks.
Out in the hot blazing sun with his erratic mouth going, and no doctor in sight. The healing's in the past. Yeah, strengthen the devil. Yeah, he's going to be talking somewhere where people are going to have to lie down and feeling faint and getting sick. And it's interesting. I got the charity card on the bottom again. It's another place that's given to him, like as a freebie.
Yes. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they're going to have, you know, a buffet with bleach so people can drink some of that with a side of hydroxychloroquine for a fake virus that doesn't exist.
We got lemon, and lavender, and ocean breeze, whichever one.
Here's some pine salt.
That one's good for whites. Don't put it on your blacks. That one's good for whites.
You know what I wonder though? How the hell does his makeup not just melt off his face at these rallies?
His face is so pitted now; it has something to cling to.
I mean, is he wearing waterproof bronzer or foundation? Like, I get it that
it's probably turmeric. It's not. It stains everything. It's not even makeup.
Rubbing saffron on his face. I gotta look good.
Lord, I'm gonna be risotto one way or the other, I guess. I get accident actually, and so why is that funny? we may have another boat, plane, trains, and automobile incident to where some Trump brigade has some sort of accident somewhere. It's probably I don't have the chariot here, but it might be like a motorcycle thing, and they're all going somewhere, and I think it might be uphill. Is
like another bus accident.
And it's like a domino effect. It just one happens to the other, to the other, to the other, but it's an accident. That's your word of warning, is the tower. That's never a good thing. But that's what it looks like. There's an accident of some sort. Karma's letting you know, don't stop following this man. He leaves destruction in his wake wherever he goes. Literally. Trump bus, Trump boats, Trump bike brigade, Trump rallies, all of it's bad.
The Trump Navy was the best though.
Titanic 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
The Trump Navy was the best.
I was in French class a long time ago. I don't speak French very well, but one thing I remember, because we had a shirt made too, is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is en deux trois quatre cinq, and so it would be en deux trois cat, and they had 1, 2, 3, 4 cats in a boat, and then it sank. Yeah, I need that shirt right about now.
We'll put row on there for cat. Cat.
Oh Jesus. Okay. I want to look.
Why did they follow him? Why? My mind can't get around it anymore.
That's our next question, though.
What question? What?
Like, why?
34 convictions. Because
they still see him as the victim. We're doing this to him instead of, demanding justice. This is something the left-wing media and the deep state has got against Donald Trump type of thing. Like,
I've been seeing on social media, I am convinced, I have no proof of this is just my speculation, but I am convinced that somewhere in the campaign or somebody's paying Black influencers to promote Trump to try to get the Black vote. Because I saw a video of a Black man in an airplane with a shirt that said Biden with a little box like a check mark, and then right underneath it said convicted felon, and that one was checked. I'm like,
convicted felon.
If you make fun of him, like for wearing diapers, they're wearing gold lame diapers to his rallies now. They don't care.
Wear diapers.
Mm-hmm.
I worship a man that makes me wear gold diapers to a rally.
So, my first question is, because the influence has happened. I was looking at some headlines, and Byron Donald said that Black families were stronger under Jim Crow.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Scott is out. I got a question on him too, who's raised a bunch of money to go try to get people of color to get their votes. And never mind, like this housenegro.com, right? And then I'm looking on Twitter, and there's this guy named Paul, whatever his last name, I can't pronounce it, but it's Paul something. Sounds foreign, but whatever. Paul something, who said, Biden's a criminal and Trump is what America needs, and we need to get back to Trump this. Named Paul something. His handle says Bubble Bath Girl. And I'm like, wait a minute. Are you Bubble Bath Girl or are you Paul? Like, which so when you go on the profile, it's just all, the Trump propaganda and how Biden is destroying the world and Trump is the hero and this type of thing. You Google the name Paul, whatever it was, and nothing pops up except that profile and an Instagram profile saying the same thing. I'm like, okay, so Russian troll farm, basically, because the last name is Zypula. And I'm like, yeah, okay. You're Bubble Bath Girl, you're Paul something. So
you're a butt.
And then you had, if you scroll down just a little bit more, that Ron, what's his name, Flipowaski or something from the Midas Touch or one of them people. He's posting all these things about how Black people are holding these little rallies that they and Trump are against immigration. Okay, you can be, I'm not saying that Black people don't care about immigration, but this is so random. Like, where were you last year, even, or the year before that, or the year before that too? Like, why is immigration so important to the Black community right now? And why is it that immigration is so important to you and Trump, you think, is your answer, who did nothing about immigration when he was in there? And so I'm like, okay, so we got a bunch of social media trying to program the way people think and see Biden as the enemy and Trump as the hero. Okay, fine. But how much of this is Russian or outside influence is my question. Is it all of it? Or are there some people who are legitimate with this? Or is this another invasion campaign like the past? And is it effective?
Look at Clarence Thomas. It's like influenced by a nut job wife. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're now calling anytime you blame something on your wife an Alito, though. Pulled an Alito.
I didn't do it. She did it. Don't you live there? Did you not see that?
You have no say in your marriage. Who wears the pants in the family? Well, I start out with its lies right on the bottom. Yeah, this is propaganda that somebody's working on and trying to stir things up and trying to secure the election for Trump. So harvesters, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And they're not done yet. There's going to be more of it. There's a lot of them too. Strength on us from overseas. A lot of it. Although Bannon spits out a lot of this crap too.
I did a double line of 5, and I asked, what is driving the pro-Trump social media posts? That's how I worded it. And I did a double line of 5. The top row is the letter, the cross, the storks, the sun, and the coffin. These are people that don't want legislation for progress. They don't want progress. They want to end it. No success, no progress, no nothing. Underneath that, it's the woman, the house, the garden, the stars, and the snake. This comes from domestic organizations. There's nothing here that says that it's outside. It's domestic organizations that have a vested interest in societal change to fit their mold. Women, house, and garden. That's your social media trad wives stuff that's going on right now. This fantasy of women cosplaying housewives from the 50s when they're all dressed up and my husband was cold, so I went outside and collected wool from my sheep and spun it, and I knitted him socks and a blanket, and then I happened to have leather laying around, so I made soles for his shoes, and my child was sick and I did not have cough drops, so I made cough drops from scratch. I went outside to collect bees from my beehive, and this kind of it's a lie. Here's your social media, and there's your lie. Mm-hmm. The central to the reading, it's the storks and the garden. Social change. They're using this to bring social change on their views domestically. There's nothing in this read that says it's abroad. That's not to say that it's not there. It just doesn't show up in this read. So it's organizations, more than one, that I'm not saying they're working together, that they might be intersecting, like the Christian nationalists don't exactly go with the trad wives and the let's bring back Jim Crow crowd, but their interests intersect to stop social change, to stop progress. and do what they want to do based on a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? It's all fake. The posts are lies. You know, women, no. You know, so I hope that makes sense.
I get cause and effect. There's a justice. And then burden. It's just meant to muddy the water. They don't care if you believe it or not. That's what a conspiracy is, or that's what a lie pretty much is too in these circumstances. They just need you to question. Reasonable doubt. Don't vote for Biden because you just might think that he's going to open, the border and all of the Mexicans are going to flood in. Well, all they need is a plane ticket, first of all. So there is cause and effect and burden. That's pretty much what they're trying to do. I don't think it's the most effective thing in the world, though. There are too many people who may be stuck in their way, kind of like we are too, to where there's no way we would vote for Trump. So there is the Nine of Pentacles and the Hierophant, to where you are secure, but you're also conformed already to your vote. So it doesn't really have a recruitment plan. It had, well, that's my second question, but it has more of a noise. It's just meant to be noisy. It's meant to be distracting. Remember, 34, 45. That's the combination so far. Let's see what else we get. Tim Scott is going to use $14 million to try to reach voters of color. Now, what I suggest, Tim Scott, is you take that money and you give it to them, and then maybe they'll vote for you. Because Donald Trump paying people is the only way he gets support. Which that's illegal, which I also encourage you to do it. That's why. But Tim Scott is going to use $14 million to try to reach voters of color. Will it be effective? Is the question.
The millions that these people waste.
I mean,
when they can help some homeless people or something, do something good with it.
$10 million. Goofy boy.
He's going to buy everybody Squishmallows. I want one because they're comfy.
When I'm voting for Donald Trump is if he's on Survivor and I want him off the TV or something. That's
I mean, think about what you just said, Johnny. You got Byron Donalds over there running around telling black folk Jim Crow was great. We should go back to Jim Crow when I had no rights, when we were segregated, when we were being lynched and murdered, like, treated like dogs. Let's go back to that time because that's fantastic. And then Tim Scott is over there. Is that his name? Tim Scott going, yep, I'm going to spend $14 million to get the black votes.
Mm-hmm. Have you just told them that they should be oppressed and like it?
Uh-huh.
He might turn some of the men, but it's a feminine energy issue. The women have a very different perspective about who's in power and who's in control. So the women, yeah, he might manipulate some of the masculine energy, the patriarchal society. The women are like, hell no. Take my birth control away from me. Mm-mm.
He's going to spend the money. It's not going to go anywhere. So just, go set it on fire, because that's not really, it's saying that the financial opportunity is achieved. You know what I mean? It's just, there's donors behind this. I don't know where the hell he's getting this money from. Probably the Heritage Foundation or some other extremist group that has money to spend, but it says he has the money. It's just not, I don't think they're going to get what they're thinking they're going to get.
You might as well just give it to me. That's all. That's the end of the minutes. I'm doing nothing for you. Just give it to me.
I know sharing is for children, Johnny, but you can, throw some my way too.
Yeah, sharing is for children when it applies to me, which means you can give me $14 million. I ain't giving it to nobody else. So.
Yeah, you're in receive mode now.
Yes, I am.
We've come
please. Yeah, there it is right there. Ace of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. So it's more of a, you're trying to gain control of the family structure, or you're trying to go after families or something, because single mothers are not going to vote for Donald Trump, mind you, especially in the South, who, like, the Black female vote is what puts people in place down in there, especially in the South. So he's not going after them. However, just like Jen got, the feminine energy is what's standing in the way. There's guys here, but these people are more already prone to, you're not turning a Democrat to Trump at this point. You possibly, I still don't think so, but possibly could have done that in 2016 or something. You're not doing that now, not with everything that they've seen. And so there are some people here, but they're already more prone to already believe such a thing or to go in that direction. I don't believe there's an undecided voter, but there might be. And this could possibly be that.
I don't get it either, because they haven't done anything to make it easier for Black people to vote. The voter suppression and gerrymandering targets them. And it's like, yeah, vote for us, if you can.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, we didn't mean to jail half of you guys. Oops, like Ron DeSantis over there rounding everybody up and throwing them in jail. And then, oops, didn't mean to, when he was doing that stuff during the midterms.
We didn't mean to put your polling place 20 miles away.
Only open between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8:30 a.m., with no water. It's like they shoot themselves in the foot and then wonder, oh, why is this happening?
Piss off all the female voters before the election. Ignore Black people right before, it baffles the mind, though, because you're in the business of being elected, not hired for a job by somebody who's already the boss or the manager there. Also, where all you have to do is smooze this one person. You have to smooze thousands, if not millions of people, depending on where you are, and you don't care about them until it's time to get elected.
And then they're like, we'll let the voters decide. The voters decide, and they go, yeah, well, you got it wrong. We're your betters. We're instilling our will anyways. You know what I mean? It's like they just don't. I don't think they're Republic. Like, what's that guy's name? Beau of the Fifth. He says Republicans don't want to govern. They want to rule at this point. Convince me otherwise.
I want to be in power. I don't really want you to be involved in this whole decision-making thing.
No.
I just want to be in power. That's how they founded it, though. I mean, poor white people couldn't vote back then. So you had to be a certain person to vote for George Washington and his cronies.
White male landowners. So what happened to the peasants? They had no say. Again,
that's how they still want it.
We're your betters. We know better than you. Meanwhile, Marjorie Taylor Greene couldn't tell you the first 5 words in the Constitution. We the people? Yeah. What? Huh? That's fake news.
But every time she goes somewhere, she gets booed, but she smiles and smirks. I mean, she's as bad as Trump with that.
Just bring out a whistle, Jen. She will haul ass.
First 5 words.
She hauls ass if you boo her. She's laughing. Yeah.
She's the example as to why voting is important, though. Because she shouldn't be where she is at all.
And here's another thing, though. A lot of these red states have been gerrymandered so unconstitutionally, and the Republicans have been playing this game for decades, where they've slowly taken over the judiciary. So how are you going to undo the gerrymandering when you got judges in the in the courts, all the way up to the state Supreme Courts that are in your pocket to continue the status quo, even though the status quo is no longer in your favor. See, so they've pulled all the mechanisms like ticks. They're like embedded in there. Unless you completely overhaul the entire system, it's nearly impossible, so voting, like Johnny said, is very important. I mean, we have great lawyers like Mark Elias and all those people that are constantly filing lawsuits for voter rights because of unconstitutional laws. He's been very successful in a lot of cases. And then there's other cases where they have absolute control all the way to the state Supreme Court, and it just gets shot down, where they want to maintain that status quo. So this is years of planning for the Republicans. It didn't just
long game.
Huh?
Playing the long game.
Yep.
Well, speaking of long term, assuming that MAGA is a cult, can they be rehabbed? Now, human beings give up on each other all the time. Spirit never does. So can they be rehabbed?
Deprogrammed.
Reprogrammed. Going on the assumption that they enter a cult-like mentality.
Usually the death card is change for me, and we're asking about can we change them, but I think in this case it's death. It's like the only way you can change them is if when they die. Because they're so defensive that they block anyone attempting to. They are manipulated by the one in charge, and any attempt at like a therapist or someone to bring clarity in, to give them a different opinion, they're not having it. They're like, yeah, no, not accepting that. They like strength in being erratic, and they cling to their patriarchal society, They cling to it. Do some of them change? A very small amount. Thank you, Orchid.
Thank you, Orchid.
Get the mice, the house, and the tree. So this is the nervous crazy base. It's pretty solid. Health-related mental health issues. Maybe with specialists and people that have resources to be able to provide, but mind you, it's not just the individual, it's the whole ecosystem. What they consume on social media, all that, yes, all that stuff. And I don't.
You can't reach them because they don't think anything's wrong with them, and they're not going to go to a therapist.
No, these are the people that will go outside and point at the sky and argue that it's green.
They're going to find another conspiracy theory to latch onto.
To feed the bias. To feed the bias, and it's looking like it's solid. Again, I'm not saying that they're absolutely helpless, but for families that have resources. And look at what happened to Ashley Babbitt. She broke into the Capitol. She got unalived by the police. Her mom was trying to take her her remains to I don't know what military cemetery, and they were turned away. Even her mother is. It's like, this man got your daughter killed, and they don't see it. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just like, so it's showing that this thing is solid. It's not.
Can they be reached? There's the audience with the world card. We did this question in our Tarot 2 class. They all got yes, but. Because there's the word of warning. The Knight of Swords is erratic. It's erratic thoughts. It's chaotic thoughts. Swords are mental, so it's the thoughts that won't settle down. It's always in fear mode because that's what they do. They just switch the boogeyman from year to year. It's either immigration or it's Antifa or it's blah blah blah. It's always something different. But here is the main part right there. The Four of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles. When you hold on too tightly to a belief to where you can no longer feel, see, hear, or think, because your crown chakra is covered, your throat chakra, your heart chakra, your root chakra, like you're covered with the erratic thoughts or the belief that somebody has put on you that you're always under attack by, you can't say Merry Christmas and you can't this, and then it snowballs from there. And so you hold on to that and you become fearful and paranoid. That's what the man is sitting so far from the city for. Is because he thinks he's always under attack. Somebody is trying to take his money. Somebody's trying to take his gun. Somebody's trying to take his freedom. Somebody's trying to take his Trump sign in his yard. Somebody's always trying to take something from him, so he sits alone paranoid. But when you do that, you also miss the thing that is your salvation because you walk right past it. The thing that is supposed to help you, that's supposed to edify you, that's supposed to build you up to be a more better person. You walk right past it. And so can they be rehabbed? Yes, but you must first see there's something wrong. And if you don't, because it's kind of hard to, when you're in this, the brain, as I always say, is your greatest enemy and your biggest asset and your worst enemy. It'll figure anything out, or it'll torture you with the same thought, or it will chain you to the same thought. And so when you believe you're always under attack and that Donald Trump is right, you're going to stay there. I mean, you don't see nothing wrong.
It would be like trying to reprogram someone who has a strong belief in a patriarchal society. We went through millennia of this, and just started getting women's rights here in the U.S. In the early 1900s. A lot of countries still don't have women's rights, so you can't deprogram that crap either.
And to Johnny's point, when you were talking about, oh, they're going to take my guns, they're going to take my this, they're going to take my that. That fear-based mentality is an excellent tool for authoritarianism, because they get you so fearful of they're coming for me, they're taking my stuff away, that you gladly hand your stuff over for someone to take away. Because I can't think of one country in this whole planet that's authoritarian, that lets their citizens have guns, that lets their citizens protest. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's not how it is. But they're so scared of everything that they don't even realize that they're helping to endorse their own demise. Like, because it's all fear. They don't think. Because
out of their mouth, they will say, I don't care if Trump's a dictator. Yeah. You don't care because you don't live under one. That's why.
Yes.
If you did, you would never say that. Ever. Because all he has to do is switch the they, and then you become the they, and now all the problems are yours.
First, it's going to be the gays and the women, then the blacks, and then eventually they're going to come for you. And you think because you have a Trump flag and no teeth and a beer, they're going to be like, yep, that's one of Trump's people. No, you're going to be suffering with everybody else too,
Because what did he say out of his own mouth? This is why campaign ads are so easy for to use against him. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. That's it. And then you could drop dead right after that.
He tells them to their face, and they're like, "Oh yeah, yes, sir. Can I please have another?" It's like, what?
It's the key is it's the wrong key and it's stuck. Speaking of authoritarian, though, I want to know, why did Don Jr., who is not an elected official, go to basically the inauguration of the El Salvadorian president, or authoritarian, whatever his name is? I wrote it down, but I can't say it. So why did he go? Matt Gaetz and all them people went, but they're in government, or at least Matt Gaetz is. Not Don Jr., what's his name? Biden, he sent a delegation too, because they just had an election, and so it's kind of the protocol. So he sent people there too. So that's why everybody went, is for the election. And the guy just got elected. But Don Jr.
does
not represent anything anywhere but Donald Trump. So why did he go?
Donald Trump and people that like to blow things up their nose.
Mm-hmm. What was your intention, sir?
He did say, I may have to move here, if I have to run from the USA. I dare you to live there, Don Jr., with no Secret Service, no bodyguards, no nothing. I dare you.
I'll buy him a ticket. Mm-hmm. Maybe the powder is good there. You never know. Donuts on every corner.
To be seen mostly by powerful authoritarians and everything, and oh look, they did it, victory on that. He was trying to get to higher ground with him, meaning he was trying to get a better connection with him, and for whatever reason he wants to know if Trump wins, that, hey, we've got this guy in our pocket. There's corrupt issues. I get, talking with him. There's something he was trying to secure that was probably for his nose, though. But he's just trying to make sure he's got connections to people that he thinks are powerful. That we're connected. So like if we needed help, if we had to call on this country, they would come to our aid. Because France and England and the UK and the European Union is NATO, and all those countries would not help you.
Victory for a government. Ace of Swords and the Hierophants, also trying to make connections, get the same thing. They basically want a buddy, and Donald Trump can't go.
He can't. He's a convicted felon. He's got a lot of countries he can't go to.
What is this reality right now? He can't serve in the military. He didn't want to, bone spurs, but he can be the commander in chief.
He could not get a security clearance as a convicted felon. He could not get a security clearance, and yet you're going to make him president where he's got access to all this secret documents.
Lord have mercy, Jesus. But he sent the boy because he can't go. There's the Six of Cups, and then there's your adventure and travel and discovery of new places and all that. He can't go, but he sent someone else, but he's left behind. Lord Jesus Christ. The Republican nominee for the president of the United States is a felon.
34 times convicted felon.
So far.
We asked, because Don Jr. said, "Oh, I may have to escape to here." Escape what? What are you worried about? Like, I may have to escape to here.
He said that out loud. He did.
Yes, he said, "I may have to escape." There's tapes of it on YouTube. I may, have to escape to here someday. I may need to move to El Salvador. What you afraid of, Don Jr.? What do you need to escape from?
Well, Bannon will still be in prison, so he can't vote. Oh.
Bannon's about to get his first shower in prison. He's about to experience prison showers. They are mandatory.
Bath and Body Works having a sale right now. So I'll send him some Japanese cherry blossom soap. So.
He probably needs a really hefty scrub to get that grime off.
Power wash. Hook it up, point, spray. I think he can drop the soap. He'd be all right. He'd be all right. You can drop it and leave it there. He'd be all right. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you too. Don Jr. would run and leave Gargoyle behind in a heartbeat.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. In her dust.
It's like time's up on the love relationship with the woman. It's like, let me just abandon her out there. What's he afraid of? Getting tied in on all the money grips and the work that he's done. It's all money stuff he's done in secret.
Because didn't he get fined too?
Yeah, he got fined. And they can't operate the company now. He feels the tower on him. He feels like it's just a matter of time before somebody's cracking the whip on him. So it's money related. There's dark money and.
I'm just. Are you guys talking about Steve Bannon?
Don Jr.
Oh, Don Jr.
The only major I got was the tower. Second card with the Four of Cups. He feels as though, which means he knows something that we currently don't. He feels as though it's any moment now. Mm-hmm. Even if he was joking when he said that, he feels any moment now because there's something that's going to be handed to him that he can't avoid. It's an upheaval. It's a disaster. On top of that, has something to do with legal matters, but I think this is legal matters also in relation to his dad. And that is, well, of course it is, because that's where all his problems came from. And so he's got some sort of problem or issue legally with that and its connection with that man there. Also in collaboration with another woman here, Ivanka. So it has something to do with a collaboration, though. So there may be some sort of huge illegal thing when it comes to that company. I don't have the company in here, but if it's a collaboration between them, that's what they were more likely working for, unless they have some other little scheme like the charity thing somewhere else.
What's interesting is I didn't have the Ten of Swords, like somebody backstabs him, like somebody turns on him and gives up information. No, whatever it is, he knows they've already got it.
Mm-hmm. He just doesn't know when. I'd leave now. I mean, why are you waiting on the
I
shoe?
started out with that World Guard. It's like time's up. He knows it's coming.
Okay.
I think, you know, the funniest thing about Trump not being able to travel, I think it's hysterical. He can't visit his golf club in Scotland. I just think that's the best.
Didn't he get
Scotland, I don't want him.
Didn't he get fined in Scotland too for a bunch of financial stuff in regards to his golf course? Or am I making that up?
I thought there were still some court cases going on over that in Scotland. I could be wrong.
Well, that is one of my questions, not that specifically, but will he have any other, actually there are two different things. I'll say investigation. Will he have any other investigations, Donald Trump, start in 2024? I won't say charges, but will there be any new investigation? I had charges written down. That's two different things. Because he could still be charged in what, Arizona?
Yeah, he's in Wisconsin and Michigan, Nevada. Well, yes, there's someone's looking into something right off the bat. Something stolen. There's the investigator looking into him. Where'd you hide it, Donald? Where'd you hide it? They already know he's guilty. Whatever it is, they already know what they're looking for. Something he worked on with other people. It'll be wrapped up in 2024 too.
I get the cross, the fish, and the house. A quick read across, a lot of pain, suffering, and guilt for family business. I don't know what's left, unless he's got 8 million shell companies all over the place. But there is a lot of stuff around property with his family, and also this could be in regards to business in his residence. So I don't know if this is also, if this is in regards to when he was in the administration residing in the White House. I don't know how that would be a thing because the Dems don't control the House. So maybe there's stuff in the works in anticipation for when they take back the House. You know what I'm saying? But it's in regards to business and transactions while he was in this residence.
Or IRS.
It could be IRS, property taxes. There's stuff here around family business, a lot of properties or transactions when he was in a residence. So apply it everywhere, you know. So that's what I'm getting.
Yes, I'm thinking there may be some sort of abuse of power type thing. I get the Fool and the Five of Cups this time. This is something where he left a lot of loose ends. And I think a lot of invisible people also have some knowledge, the invisible people being like the waiters and the cleaners and the pool boys and all the people that they do crime in front of and then don't think about it. There's something to that too. This expands, or to expand his power, to expand his reach, possibly to to get himself elected, calling other places to expand his power, to expand his victory type of thing. So there's that. There's also the moving of something. The Eight of Pentacles would be something you would work, or something that holds a lot of detail. They are fabricated and created, so this is a physical thing too. So it's the Knight of Wands moving it from one location to another, but it's not hiding necessarily. It's a relocation, as in it was meant to stay there. So he was not intending it to take it back somewhere. There's some other new little investigation on that, or maybe in addition to. There's the leaving of something too, or taking something from somebody else's country. I don't know. It may have zero reach, mind you, because it's not like they can drag him into court over there. But there's the taking of something from somebody else's country. I don't know what it is, though.
There was that report when he was in office that he had one of his aides go to this one country. I forget what country it was. And they stole an artifact, but they ended up finding out that it was like a fake. But he remember that? He had one of his aides.
If Trump's coming, you better only put fake artifacts out.
I forget what I think it was in the UK somewhere. But it was reported on, I think it was like his second year in office, maybe, where he had one of his aides steal something from a foreign country.
I wonder how many times he's done it, because it's like he may have left a trail for that.
I have an aunt that was like that kleptomaniac. You hid everything around her. You didn't put anything of value out.
Can you imagine what he stole from the Brits when he was over there? I mean, anything that was not nailed down, sticky fingers, dirty hands. Donald Trump, dirty hands. Donald Dirty Hands Trump.
Little tiny dirty hands.
Mm-hmm.
They're easier to make sticky that way.
It's easier to get in pockets and places they shouldn't be.
How it was from an ambassador's office, lucky girl, but I don't remember what country it was. But it was one of his aides that he sent over there and said, "Go get this for me."
Oh, good Lord. Okay, wait a minute. We got Israel. We got England or France. He's got a trail, basically.
He probably has that sword he was swinging around in Saudi Arabia dancing with.
Oh my God.
That's okay. He has artifacts from Israel.
Donald Dirty Hands Trump. I'm telling you.
He stole the most precious resource from everyone. That's time. So there's that. Okay. Donald Trump, candidate, will be Republican candidate, maybe, for the United States presidency, Republican candidate, former president, I think, of the United States. Illegitimately, but fine. Has a probation officer.
And he has to undergo a mental health evaluation.
What is this scenario we live through right now?
The Onion and the Simpsons couldn't make this up. Like they couldn't.
Donald Trump, sir. Humble thyself in private, or God will do it in public. This is what's happening right now.
You got to report to a probation officer regularly for however long the judge
and you got to be drug free.
Oh my God!
That man, snorty McSnorted pants.
And somehow he's the paragon of morality for the Christians.
I hope they make him pee in a cup,
like they do to us when we're in the military. Don't just go in the bathroom and pee. No, somebody's standing there watching you to make sure that you pee in.
Who gets that job? Oh.
Yeah, you're not pouring somebody else's pee into the cup.
I'm sick that day, Lord.
Every time you had a whiz quiz, you didn't go in the bathroom by yourself. There was always someone there with you to watch to make sure that
you were the one that,
yeah,
little proxies and all, whatever you call it. So, will he behave himself?
Donald Trump, if you were locked up in prison, how many diapers per day would you need? Do you guesstimate?
because he has to behave himself at his little meeting. And somebody who was, I think, George Conway or somebody like that said that he basically is.
With his probation officer, he has
in
to.
a little meeting he has to have, because he has to go in and show that he was remorseful, because maybe that'll lessen your sentence and things of that nature. He has to go in, he has to behave. He basically this is a behavioral test, and if he fails it, then the sentencing could be worse.
Well, he's already failed it because he's already violated the gag order, which is still in place while you're in probation.
And then he was talking about retribution and all this stuff. So yeah, I'm sure you're remorseful. That shows a lot of remorse there, Donnie. Go ahead.
So how will his probation meeting go? Isn't it tomorrow or something like that? Because he's sentenced on the 11th.
I thought I saw that his probation officer is a Black woman that has worked there with that court system for a long time. So
women
a woman
to be a thorn in his side, I think.
A female, he's going to have no respect for, and
you don't have to show her the ounce of respect at all, but you will regret it if you don't.
Donald Trump, how's your interview going to go?
Oh, what a lost cause. Bless his heart.
Well, here he is, King of Swords on the bottom. Temperance is just not there. He's going to be very defensive. There's going to be major illumination on that. There may be investigation or checking into that instability. He is in total denial of the potential to go away. That will be very obvious. Like, they're not going to lock me up. And they'll recognize there could be a problem if they're blocking him from his, we'll call it medication. Yeah, they his image is just, I'm party boy and I do what I want. They're gonna do more tests on him or something. So yeah, we got a few weeks ago that he would be put through some mental evaluation.
I got the birds, the crossroads, the moon, the storks, and the ring. The birds is in regards to the meeting, so more than one meeting. The moon, the storks, and the ring. In the meeting, inside the meeting, when he's sitting across from the probation officer, whether it's on Zoom or Skype or in person, I don't know. I get that he will try to elevate his image and put his best foot forward. When he's outside of that meeting, though,
this is a witch hunt.
When he's outside the meeting, because it shows while he's in the meeting, best behavior, celebrity, perfect person, like just the paragon of innocence. But when he's not there, then we revert back to, this is a witch hunt, that crooked judge, Michael Cohen. He won't say Michael Cohen's name because of the gag order, but stuff like that. Do you see what I'm saying? He'll present one thing because there's two faces to this, and he changes. There's two sides. He'll present one to the probation officer because he's too stupid to realize that what you say outside this room is still going to be reviewed. And then he'll revert back to the right. Do you see what he thinks himself too clever by half, but the guy has the intelligence of this rock. So that's what I get. That's what I get.
King of Wands, there's the probation officer. In the Knight of Swords, there's the Donald Trump.
Yeah, black dog.
He is a convicted felon. Did you ever think we'd be here? Oh my goodness. Convicted felon, his erratic behavior, but he is rehearsed because somebody, I don't know who, whether it's Blanche Devereaux or whoever it was, that said, this is the most serious moment of your entire life. If you mess this up, then I hope you like crackers and cheese because it's all you're going to be eating for the next 20 days type of thing. Like they have to break it all the way into him that way.
He's telling the truth when he says nothing like this has ever happened before because we never had a president committing crimes like this, idiot. All you have to do is stop criming. Nothing like this.
Now, mind you, we could have if we had this type of system because Andrew Jackson was the worst in the worst, but at the same time,
not anymore.
So he is trying to elevate himself, though. That's all this is going to be about. Is now here's the problem with that. That's part of
elevating physically.
Yes.
Or elevating as in
his image. He wants to be
getting high.
Like I am a candidate and this is witch hunt type of thing. Here's the problem with that, though. It sounds erratic. Because if I asked you, hi, how are you? And then you went on about Michael Cohen and Michael Steele and all these other people, Hillary, and like you start going back into your Rolodex of people to blame, and then you bring it all into a meeting. Like that's why he has to be rehearsed. Because it sounds erratic and you're supposed to sound remorseful. That's not the same thing. And so it ends in the Page of Swords. How will it go? It'll be full of lies and fluff. And the Page of Swords is the child with behavioral issues. I don't think it's going to go well. And it may go even worse once he leaves the room too, because just like Leticia James, who sat in on all your court cases, they're still listening, whether you see them or not.
It goes through also a lot of your history, you know, so okay,
I'm a businessman. I sold 8,750,000 properties. When somebody can just go in there and look, no, you didn't.
Yeah, no. I bankrupted a casino and blah blah blah. I want to ask this: is he gonna, because he tells on himself all the time, is he gonna say something that causes an investigation into something else? He tells all his own secrets.
I gotta know on that one. I get, you know, I'm being politically prosecuted, blah, blah, blah. But I don't get a confession of more crimes or accidentally let something. I don't get that. And if this is in regards to his organization, well, it's already busted. You see what I'm saying? So I don't get any admittance to any more.
I get a secret that comes out about his home life and his partying that goes on at his home and the instability there. Something that makes him nervous. that he's going to reveal to the courts. And I get there's concern over a nervous breakdown with him, emotional,
So what you're saying, Jen, is he's going to short his pants, right?
Yeah, and it's something about Barron and Melania. Like he's going to give up something about Barron and Melania, and maybe about money that they have stashed or something. I don't know.
Somebody in the chat, yeah. Yes, I just saw that. DJP doing jail time. I love that. I love that.
There may be, I don't know if it's confession, but there's something. The Page of Cups is a surprise, so it's not, I didn't ask you about that, but thanks for that little tidbit type of thing. Because again, I think he's going to go in rehearsed, but you can't rehearse him because he is a flaming narcissist. And so at some point, this can't just be me answering your question. Something's got to be about me. And so he's going to turn something into something he shouldn't have said because it was not rehearsed.
Right. Like what idiot would say to a rally, I don't care about you, I just want your vote. Like he's so unpredictable and stupid that.
Well, that is his admittance to how he regards his base. And they're like, yeah! Oh, he was just joking. Okay. If you want to think 2 + 2 equals
very funny.
2 + 2 equals 37, by all means, knock yourself out.
Thank you, Suzanne. So can we look into the crystal ball and see what his sentence will be?
He's gonna crap his pants. I'm just smelling like nasty diaper. So it's gonna be worse than he thinks. May not be as much as we would like to see, but it's gonna be worse. Could he get a financial fine also? Thank you, Annie.
Thank you, Annie.
A financial fine on top of the criminal convictions, Jen? I think so. Isn't that what they did to Cohen? He had like a fine plus jail time.
Okay.
I think. But if I remember correctly, that's what they did to Cohen. They fined him and they jailed him. I get about 3 years. 36 months. An opportunity. This is also 2 weeks, 2 days, the month of February. I doubt that's February. 36 months. So that's what, 3 years? I just looked it up on the Google.
I'm getting the same thing, like putting him away for 3 years. It's like crisis for him. Like he's blocked from being able to manipulate. So whether it's house arrest or whatever, I'm getting like 3 years too. But there's also a financial something.
I get with the 9 of Cups, it's kind of something he wants. So I don't think they're going to put him in prison. Love to be wrong. But there's the Judgment, and then there's the Four Swords. Four Swords, for me, pops up for home confinement or something like that. Because this is kind of what Manafort got to, or he was put in jail with the 8 of Swords, but then he was let out and then pardoned or whatever it was. But it's more home confinement than it is prison. And it is for a length of time, though. So there is a calendar associated with it. So it's not like just go home for a couple of days and then you're back out on the trail. No.
I have a question on how that works, though, if you guys can answer me, because we all know as soon as he gets sentenced, he's going to appeal. That's a given. He appeals everything. The way that they were explaining it on the news is that there are 2 appellate courts that he has to go through in the state of New York. The first one is the one that has the 5 black ladies on it. The second one has 21 judges. And then if he loses both of those appeals, then it goes to the Supreme Court. With that in mind,
the state Supreme Court, not the Supreme.
I thought, no, he can take it to the Supreme. So he has to go through 2 appellate courts in the state, and then he goes to the Supreme Court. But my question is, even if he's sentenced next month, while he's awaiting his appeal, he's still out on bail, correct? So he would have to do something that would make them repeal his bail to isolate him, correct? So just because he's sentenced next month doesn't mean, because he's going to appeal, that he's going to go to prison in like a couple of months.
Well, you'd have to come up with bail money too.
Oh.
Which somebody that's a flight risk and everything else, and we know how he comes up with his bail money.
Yeah, he couldn't make the bail for the civil case. I'm just wondering, okay, I guess we can talk about that later. I mean,
so my question, or your question was, is he currently scheming to overthrow the 2024 elections? If so, what is he plotting?
I'm going to sit this one out and see what you guys get, if you don't mind.
Well, he's already talking to Republicans about rejecting the Electoral College votes again.
Did these morons not learn from the last time?
Yep.
Did they not learn from the last time?
You know, okay, the fake electors, I think they've learned, because they're starting to get charged, right? But the people in the House and the Senate have not learned, because they haven't had a repercussion yet.
Yep. And I don't know why that is, if Jack Smith has been given parameters, like you only operate within this, or if they've given him free range and they've looked at it and they're like, okay, well, that's not, we don't have enough evidence to charge. I don't know.
Pull 2 cards, that's all I need.
What did you get?
I pulled 2 cards. Well, I pulled 10, but the first 2, that's all I needed. Is he planning? Sure. Is it a good idea? No. But what is he plotting? It would be trying to capture votes or put something under rest as well. Kind of same old the way it was, fake electors or something like that. That's the High Priestess. So there is some sort of agenda there, but it comes in the form of something local on the ground. King of Pentacles would be like a business, but it's more of a collaboration corporation type of thing. So it's a fake elector scheme type of thing, to where you get people who are paid as a group to do a certain thing. And there's the Knight of Wands, so some sort of taking charge or taking over something. Paying local governments, paying bribes and that type of thing. But it starts with the Tower and the 10 of Swords. That's an exercise in futility. The Tower is not a good idea from the start, which means this one isn't. And the 10 of Swords means you lose everything. I have a follow-up question.
And here's the thing. I saw a comment in the chat. Somebody was saying Mike Johnson won't certify the election. Well, the new Congress gets sworn in before so how's that going to work?
Right. January 3rd, the new Congress is sworn in, and they confirmed the votes on the 6th.
So
he might not even be speaker anymore when we win the House back.
Or he just doesn't swear in anybody.
Yeah.
And if that's the same playbook that they tried last time, according to their bogus theory, then Kamala Harris would be the one that would say. So Kamala Harris is going to be like, "Yeah, Trump won." Like, are you kidding me? Like, these people they're dumb.
They're definitely looking at moving things around. I get. Yes, he's already working on something, and it's moving votes. They're working out the detail of this. I also get he's talking to Russia, so shifting things around. So whether it's the totals, the tallies of the votes, or the electoral votes, it's underhanded. He's shifting it around. It's corrupt as hell. He'll get blocked from it anyway. But anything he can do to delay the settling of the votes and everything, he's just going to cause more problems.
Are you saying we're going to have a repeat of 2020? Stop the count. Keep the count. Stop the count. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah. Don't accept mail-in votes. Wait, accept that state's mail-in votes.
Oh my God, y'all remember that mess.
Okay, we got enough. Stop counting. Okay, wait, he's winning now. Okay, count some more. Like, what, sir?
I just need 11,780 votes more.
No, we need 8 million votes more. Okay. My question is, the 2024 election, after it's over, will we see investigation charges, indictments like we did for this past election, where people were doing things that were fraud and illegal and all that bad stuff? Will we see more of that?
Will we see some people getting a really Merry Christmas? Look what's in your stocking. Indictment.
I voted for Donald Trump, and all I got was this lousy indictment.
And a lump of gold. Because he doesn't care about you. Around Christmas time. That's the Christmas wreath that's on the victory card. Around Christmas. You get an indictment. You get an indictment. The harvest is coming. Like they're gonna swoosh up a whole bunch that were in partnership with them on the big lie and the treason and the subterfuge. There's all the corruption. I think some of this is going to come from Jack Smith, because I have the bully card here, and he always shows up as the bully.
More government officials, probably. Guilt or suffering, persistent in the government. So I don't know what level of government. I don't know if we're talking the House, the Senate, or more state and local level people, but
or both.
Or both. Or it could be the freaking court. Oh, Clarence Thomas. Yeah, Jenny over here. You know, like, so yeah.
Jenny from the block. And you know, Alito's wife that can't seem to hang a flag the right way up.
She's got vertigo. The room was spinning. She put it upside down. Eight of Wands, King of Pentacles. Like last time, I think it's some man who makes phone calls. It's not Donald Trump this time, but it's probably somebody for him. But again, the King of Pentacles came up in that last read, so it could be the network of them, like the corporation of them, the group of people that they paid. Talks, make some sort of phone calls. The Four of Cups and the Two of Cups. They take it. Thank you, Judy. They take it. They take the deal. They take that type of thing and they work with it. The collaborations with Three of Pentacles and the Page of Swords, the lies and the gossip. Yes, phone calls and trying to turn people from one thing to another. And then there's the Five of Cups. All that.
Well, it's great because I think didn't Mark Meadows just get arraigned in Arizona this last week or something? He got arraigned somewhere. I forget what state it was, but he just got
Michigan,
arraigned.
wasn't it? Or I
Was
don't
it
know.
Michigan? I forget.
Arizona.
I've lost count. There were 7 swing states, Jenny, and they were criming everywhere. So
Arizona had to track down Giuliani because he was trying to hide and serve
At his birthday party.
yeah, he was over there like, where's Carmen Sandiego? Just like
She goes from Nashville to Norway, Bonaire to Zimbabwe, Chicago to Czechoslovakia, and back. Okay, so the number of Republicans probably means nothing, but we'll see. Is growing that says we cannot have our nominee be a convicted felon. We have to pick literally anybody else. Will this make a difference? They're pushing back on their nominee being a convicted felon.
I don't care what these clowns, performative actors are saying to every news outlet, like Ted Cruz, Cancun Cruz, and everybody else, behind the scenes are on the phone like, we can't do this. We can't do this. Like, you cannot tell me that they're on board with this whole plan.
Like, shut up, Ted Cruz. Your dad unalive JFK.
Well, that was part
your
of
wife's ugly too.
I split it up, but if you want to ask them both, is there real Republican support for him, or are they going to grow in numbers type of thing? But does this make a difference? Because right now, I seen Chris Christie. There's another woman too. I forget what her name is, but they were the loudest. I'm sure there's more, but cannot be a convicted felon.
I mean, you gotta, dude, Johnny, you gotta give it to Trump. He's always bragging about how he's the best at everything. You took the cake out of our whole entire history as the 45th president, the first one to get impeached twice, the first one to get indicted in 4 separate jurisdictions 4 times, the first one to try to run for president. Well, I guess we've had other ones. I think the last guy was like the socialist group or whatever, but that was like in the 1800s. But it's like
the first one to kill his supporters and not care.
Yeah.
Not your enemies, his own supporters.
I mean, he's, give him a cake and a piñata, dude. Seriously, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Give him a cake and put him in the piñata.
I get there's more joining together, trying to protect themselves and want him to go away. The betrayal and he could be sitting in jail instead of the White House. That number is going to grow. There are more people getting a different perspective on it. That number will grow. And I'm getting more support for women in the Republican Party. So, yeah. The nominee, it's going to go crazy. They're going to be looking at all the options and fighting over it because, dictator Trump. They're trying to find someone else.
That convention, if I could be a fly on the wall, because he took over the entire RNC. And you got to think about the Republicans of the status quo, like the Mitch McConnells that are used to being in power. Seeing this clown just wrecking everything and ruining your entire chance of having any power and control at all. That's going to be fun to watch. But I get that there's meetings about the executive needs to change. They need to move away from it. This is a move and a change, an improvement. So they're meeting about it. They're talking, meeting, negotiating a change and a move away with this exec. So
that's what I get. Mind you, there's Eminem Boots DeSantis. There's Brown Girl Haley. And there's Dark Brown Boy Ramaswamy. Who are you going to vote for? DeSantis is your best option because at least he's a white guy who doesn't like the same things you like down there in Florida.
And everybody hates him. Everybody hates him. MAGA hates him. Regular Republicans hate him. Independents hate him.
You're just not going to get Brown Girl Haley and Dark Brown Boy Ramaswamy. They're not going to vote for those people.
You know what? Laura Ingraham, was it Laura Ingraham or the other hateful blonde-haired lady? Yeah, it was the other hateful blonde-haired lady that told Ramaswamy to his face, I'm not voting for you because you're brown.
Ann Coulter.
Ann Coulter, there you go. The paragon of Nazism. Told.
She said, I'm not voting for you. I wouldn't vote for you. And that's the truth.
That is what the Republican Party is. Right there. The unabridged.
She told him to his face, look here, you're brown and I don't like you.
You think they're going to vote for Nikki Haley, whose real name is not Nikki?
Nemeroth to Ron Halla. Sounds like
a brown woman. And oh, by the way, she's a woman. And let's not forget the current Republican war on women. So good luck with that. Good luck with that. Oh, God.
Little Roro being cute.
I got progression in time. There means we need to move forward with the Knight of Wands. King of Wands, new leader. Nine of Pentacles, secure. So they believe that is the way to be secure, is to find a new leader. Again, Eminem Boots, DeSantis, Brown Girl Haley, or Dark Brown Boy Ramaswamy. You didn't go get the Donut King, Chris Christie. So who else do you have? JFK? You do not have a new leader you could put in. You had a chance a million years ago when you had the chance to get rid of Donald Trump through impeachment and conviction, but you didn't do it. He is your, I won't say curse, because this is what you wanted. He is your gift. He is your harvest. This is what you wanted. You planted it, and then you watered it. And when it started to pop up and look like the little shop of horror, and you should have burned it then, you said no. And it said, feed me. And then you kept feeding it, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And that ate all of y'all.
Feed me, Seymour.
Yeah.
He was their poison pill. That's the albatross.
He's the mean orange mother from outer space.
And on top of that, you have less voters because he killed a whole bunch of them during COVID. So, I'm just saying.
You had your chance.
And then the rest of them are in prison for the insurrection. So you can't.
So my question is, he said, now automatically discount everything I'm about to say because it came from Donald Trump's mouth. But he said that his conviction has been very hard on both Barron and Melania.
You lie.
I'm like, okay.
It's hard on Baba the goat herder too, right, Melania?
Because he's trying to get people to see that he is a victim, and what people are doing to him is affecting his family. And somebody probably told you 30 minutes before you did that little statement what Barron's real name actually was. Not that kid or Melania's kid.
Melania's kid.
So I want to know, just
the tall kid.
Being petty, how did the conviction affect his family? There you go. That's about all it did. you cared about them, you wouldn't have been out there committing crimes.
Can you imagine being his kids and smelling him all the time? Like, Dad, sit at that end of the table at dinner. His grandkids.
Okay.
How I would love to be a fly on the wall. How did this conviction affect his family? Their image is tarnished because they have a history of persistent fraud. That's it. They're more worried about their individual reputation. People pulling the curtain back and, oh, look, the emperor has no clothes. Even though people in New York knew that. Now it's like the whole world knows it. If this is your image and your reputation, it suffers. There's your history, persistent fraud. I don't get anything about they're crying, they're sad. It's, oh crap, now the world knows we're a bunch of crooks.
Like,
dishonest people.
These relationships have been over for a long, long time. I get Melania's looking at steady trips for romance. They're fighting over Barron, so probably like where he's going to school or whatever. They're fighting about that. And you know, a lot of erratic tendencies at home, and who's in power, who's in charge, who's wearing the pants in the family, so to speak. Well, there's Melania and there's the loser. So guess who's wearing the pants? She's like, he's convicted, he's trapped, he's probably going to jail, and she's standing on higher ground, like, I'm out here, yippee.
I mean, I'm sure that there's some rich, old, I mean, look at Rupert Murdoch, you know. But any person, let's say after all this, I don't ever see Melania leaving Trump, but let's just say that happens. Girl's going to have a hard time trying to find a person of decent character to hitch their wagon to that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
Well, she didn't marry somebody of decent character the first time. And the only cup card is basically the 5 of Cups, the loser, and her off traveling with someone for romance.
And that's what I always say about Melania. That girl went digging for gold and she hit a sewer line. Like, it's like you can't get the stench of the Trumps off you now, girlfriend, ever.
She is one now. I get the Page of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, Fool, and the Knight of Swords. I would say, how does it affect them? It affects them because it affects him, and then he's erratic and angry. And so that's how it would affect them. Otherwise, it didn't happen to them, so they feel no pain. So they don't live with him daily. They don't talk to him daily. He didn't go shopping with them for tennis shoes and sneakers and these types. No, that's the guy who's on TV all the time. He's not dad. It'd be different if it was, if Joe Biden went to prison, it would affect Hunter type of thing. No, that is a completely different scenario with them. They're only affected because he's affected, and he's angry because he can't stop this in particular wheel of fortune because you had the chance and you didn't do it.
I'm convinced, and I say this as a spectator. I'm not a doctor, a medical health professional, or nothing, but I am convinced that everybody in that entire family is a sociopath or a psychopath, one or the other. Because Melania ain't no better than Trump. She's just as nasty with fake boobs and a bunch of Botox. And
only concerned about herself.
And look at Ivanka. I'm convinced that every single person in that family is cuckoo bananas in the head in a not good way.
And the only reason he's kept Melania as a wife is because they have separate bedrooms.
They don't even live in the same house, Jen.
Yeah.
We're going to end on a good note. Hopefully. We'll see what the cards say. I did a reading about 400 years ago on this channel, and I told the class it was the first reading I ever done where I got a negative comment. And you leave it if you want to. It helps the algorithm. It actually means nothing. So, but you can leave it if you want to. But that was the first one I got. And it says, why are you reading on this when, the world's blowing up, basically? And for anybody who's followed my channel for any length of time, or for when you only saw my hands, I read on everything that I wanted to read on. I don't care what it was or how unimportant it was to you. This ain't your channel, homeboy and girl. Get your own. Point the camera at your cards and you do your own reading so I can come criticize you, is what I always thought. But then I thought, just ignore it altogether. But what was interesting is I was reading on honeybees. And I wanted to know, since they are very important to this here earth, would they recover? Would their numbers recover? Would their habitat recover? So forth and so forth. And I got the King of Cups back then. Donald Trump was president. There was no Biden in sight or none of that. So I didn't know that was Biden as the King of Cups. I said it might be some new guy at the EPA or something like that. Well, under the King of Cups now, Joe Biden, the population has increased by 3.8 million. Now, that is way, way, way above their expectation, actually. So not only are they doing better, but they're doing way better than they thought. And so what I wanted to know is, will that trend continue?
Because let's not forget, on the Supreme Court, Gorsuch, his mother in the Reagan administration rolled back all kinds of EPA stuff. He is anti-EPA, as well as Trump and all his cronies, all these business people.
Because they were thinking, we'd get a few percentages, but it went up like exponentially, like 30% or 31% or whatever it said. And it has been increasing. So
I get a yes. Over time, there's going to be new workers, so like new worker bees. I get yes. Also, perhaps, I wouldn't say environmental agencies, but people that are that look to conserve. So even if it's a backyard gardener, for instance, that puts in the work to help with a new population. Does that make sense? So I get a yes.
Did Biden have to reverse something that Trump had done?
mm-hmm.
Like an executive order or something, like he had to shift it? Because I'm getting like there's something written or said executive order when he was in the White House. I get a yes too. Mother Earth responding here, changing, yeah, and returning. We just got to be careful of the sneaky people that are going to try to backstab some of these EPA rules.
Page of Pentacles, there's your bees. Ace of Pentacles, a new opportunity, especially for growth. But voting is very, very, very important, because if we go back to a Republican administration, then there's your Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles. So then you have your rollbacks, your deregulation. Dump everything you can in the ground, in the water, and we'll see what happens, type of thing. But this is how it ends. So there is some growth there, but just don't be complacent just because it's getting better. Well, that's all I got, y'alls. We will see y'all next week on Jen's channel live from Portland, Oregon. If you are coming to the seminar, bring your happy pants. We will have a good time. If you can, go see the Rose Gardens. It's free, and they're very, very pretty. Go to the beach if you can. There was a couple. Well, go to the beach. There was a giant sunfish that washed up the other day, and a whale that washed up.
7 foot. Yeah, 7 foot sunfish. I saw that.
So just be careful when you go out there. The ocean's spitting things up here. So, but have some fun while you're here if you can. There's 1,000 things to eat, so bring your stretchy pants, and we will see y'all next week.
Can't wait to see you next week or the week after.